definition of Hate Crime Awareness Week. We've just had it. So I've been reading what it is. The law recognises 5 types of hate crime on the basis of race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, transgender identity. Any crime can be prosecuted as a hate crime if the offender has either demonstrated hostility based on race, religion, disability, sexual orientation or transgender identity, or been motivated by hostility based on those things. You can be a victim of more than one a type of hate crime. Now, shall I stick my neck out here and say, the way I'm reading this, be quite a few of my colleagues on Talk Radio who would be guilty of talk crime. I'm reading this. Have I got it wrong?
It's difficult, I think, when you're looking at hate crime. First of all, these are not offences in themselves. Okay.
Oh.
It's offences that are already existing. For example, using abusive or insulting words or behaviour, Section 5 public order, at the very basic level, telling somebody
but
they're
Joseph,
whatever.
But what's the intersection between a lot of people going to say free speech and hate crime? I mean,
there is no such thing as an absolute right to free speech, no matter what Elon Musk may tell you. In fact, even Elon Musk's platform, Twitter, formerly known as X, or X as Twitter, whatever, they still have rules about not saying certain things.
Right.
You can't use language that dehumanizes individuals, that targets them in a grotesque, insulting, or basically illegal way. You can't incite violence. I'm sure that we would all regard somebody as not having the freedom to encourage other people to kill innocent people. Would we?
Right.
So immediately,
that's a hate crime.
Immediately freedom of speech is qualified, is my point. Now, with regard to hate crimes and those specific protections which are afforded, which I think are actually largely symbolic in the law, except in sentencing. They make sentencing when somebody is guilty of a more fundamental offence. So, for example, if you assault somebody, you're guilty of assault, okay? But if you assault somebody and it's based on the fact that they're, for example, gay, well, it's still assault, but it's treated as a hate crime for the purposes of sentencing. Also, so that the police can record it internally, so we can have figures on how the police are dealing with these things. And also the police can look at their own data to see, do we have a problem with prejudice? Are we not treating this group appropriately? So in that regard, these are actually good things, but we shouldn't assume that this means somehow that people's right to talk and say, well, I don't approve, for example, of homosexuality. Well, somebody has a right to believe that. Somebody even has a right to suggest that they believe that, but they must be very careful about the way in which they talk about whether those people are good people or bad people or deserve to be derided or whatever else. Because in our society, where we prize tolerance, we are tolerant about everything except people who are actively intolerant.